Hi, it's me, Jane. I've got another video today. Today's video is basically the normal Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. I believe this is number 11, maybe 12. I'll have to look at it. But I'm Jane. I'm coming to you from Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. Today is March the 27th. And it's in the afternoon. We're getting some shadows here. I've got my lights set up a little bit differently. I have put up a podcast for scrap busting blankets today that just kind of went through what I do to scrap bust all those balls. And I noticed the lighting was a little different. In the yarn haul video, my lighting was a little off. I'm not sure what's going on there. It looked fine on my end, but then when it uploaded, it looked totally different. So I'm going to give it another shot. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit what's been going on. I decided March the 17th, Center County, which is State College, Pennsylvania, the Center Knitters Guild had their 8th annual For the Love of Fiber Fest. I don't think they call it a fest, they just call it For the Love of Fiber. And I've always wanted to go. I've always been interested in it, just never had a chance to go. So I did get a chance to go to it. And the biggest thing with it is there were some guild displays and demos, and yeah, they had a lot of those. They had one gal that was, they always had at least one person that was using a spinning wheel, one that was using drop spindle. There was a lady and her husband who had had a older wheel, one that is normally called a walking wheel, there, and they were presenting it that it was an antique and it still worked. My husband and I kind of chatted up with them, and we kind of, you put two wheels together to make the one wheel, and they were surprised that we knew that, but honestly, it was two different woods, so there wasn't really a hard guess there. They did have a merchant mart. They had some classes and demonstrations, which I didn't go to. One was entrelac, the other was pulled thread heart ornament. A forethought and afterthought heel. I'm assuming that's for socks. Don't know of any other name you'd use that for. And the basics of needle felting, and that was basically a demonstration. They did have some silent auction baskets. There were 2 times to do that. My husband and I didn't go in. They had a little area set off that was called the Knit Doctor is In, where they had someone there that if you're stuck on a project, they'd help you with it. And then they also had, an opportunity to spend the day just sitting, knitting, and visiting, which some people were, partaking of that. Generally on Saturdays we go get groceries, so we were just there for the fest and to see things. They had all kinds of things hanging around that were made out of fibery goodness with tags. They had a weaving demonstration, and if you've watched my yarn haul video, you know that it has one of my favorite places had a booth set up, and that was Scraps and Skeins. There were 18 merchants there. I was a little disappointed. There were no wheel vendors there. That is something that when I grow up, I would like to purchase a wheel someday to spin my own yarn. I do have a drop spindle and a kick spindle that I do work with. There was only one vendor that had drop spindles, and when I was looking at the drop spindles, because I'm interested in getting another drop spindle. I have one that I made that was homemade with a wooden dowel stick and the teacup for the hook, and and made with 2 CD disc and an O-ring. And I think I also have a 1 weight on it, washer on it for weight. And that is my favorite so far to drop spindle on. I do have some other ones. I don't enjoy them as much. So I was looking, to try and find a new spindle. And couldn't find one. So I was a little upset with that. The one vendor that did have the drop spindles, the spindles, they weren't polished. They were rough. So I just chose to walk on by. I did get some goodness, and that I'm going to show you here. I'm always looking at unplanned peacocks things online, and the good thing about this is she has set up her yarns are all in line with different tops and rovings that you can purchase. So I did purchase this roving, and it is a Romney top. It's 4 ounces, and this is called Blue Orchid, and I just really liked it because of the variegation of the blue. So I'm looking forward to spinning that up one of these days. I walked around the lot. There were quite a few alpaca farms represented there. There was only one true working sheep farm that was there, and that was Underhill Farm. The gentleman that was working with customers was explaining how he cares for his sheep and everything else, and then they'd ask him about spinning it, and I have to refer you to my wife because I don't handle that end of it. And you could see he truly enjoyed taking care of the sheep. But I'm allergic to alpaca, so I'd stay away from those booths. But from the end, where I was looking in, they had some beautiful yarns. And there were some absolutely gorgeous yarns. At the end of the video, I'm going to put up took me about 1.5 minutes, maybe a little more, to walk through the vendor area. And I've got a video of that I'll put up. I did purchase some yarn, and I got it at the Better Not Yarns. It's Better Not Yarns is what this is called, by Mad About Use. And I like looking at their yarns online as well. This is Kettle Dyed in the Kitchen, and what I chose was 100% superwash merino. It's 218 yards in barnwood. And I got 2 of those skeins. And I just really like the looks of it. I'm not normally a brown and that mustard yellow, but boy, this caught my eye, and I had to have some of it. So I bought 2 skeins of that. Other than that, my husband and I didn't stay there, but maybe 35 minutes total as we walked through. But it was nice. I enjoyed it. I know I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm reading. Again, with the ums, what is with that? Get on camera and I just forget what I'm talking about. So, I had mentioned that I thought I was reading a book by Betty Heckman called Hooked on Trouble. It's actually Hooking for Trouble. One of the other books that's in my queue to read after I get this one finished is Seamless Murder. A Seamless Murder by Melissa Bourbon. I like her series. It's a kind of Southern Charm series. So I've been enjoying that. I'm going to go into some of the finished objects that I have. I have joined in with the Crochet Crowd has a stitch along with Karen Pound, And I've got my first block finished. It came out to be about 24 inches. So I was a little surprised that it came out that long. That big. But it's okay. It'll be what it's going to be. It's supposed to be about a 57-inch afghan when you get finished. And it's got 4 squares. The third square has been put out this week. Yesterday was put out for the third square, and it's got some crochet cables. But I haven't finished the second square. I'll show that a little bit later. But I do have a pair of adult mittens. These are navy blue. And they are an adult large male. I also have a little messy bun hat that I got finished. And then I have a scarf that I did in Hellspun's, as Crochet Luna, Claudia calls it. It is Hellspun's cousin. Very pretty variegated, but this is one of those that Lion Brand, I believe, first came out with the boucle. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's either boucle or buckle. Who knows? But this was a one of their first that came out before the homespun came out, or as Claudia calls it, Hellspun. I really don't like working with it. I don't really care for the boucle either, but I thought I can do some garter stitch scarf with that, and that's for the Hope Enterprise. That we're working on doing the scarves for that group. This is Rosina of Zines and Rogers crochet scarf, granny scarf. It's done in one of the variegated. Can't remember the name of the color, but it's, the grays. So I did get a scarf finished in that. And that's it for my finished objects besides the 5 Scrap Buster blankets that I have. If you've watched the Scrap Buster blanket video, then you've seen that. Now we get to some of my works in progress. This is the Crochet Crowd second block. It has some popcorn stitches. And the color grouping that I had chose was I don't want to say yellow. I think it's called Sunshine. Maybe that's not the name of it, but it's the block I showed you before, where you've got 2 skeins of it. You've got 1 skein of a dark pink. I didn't get the dark pink. This is raspberry. It's a discontinued color by Karen Pound. I did actually have one left, so I chose to use it. And then the spring grass color is the other block. I would imagine that'll be today's block. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be the last one. This is a scarf that I'm knitting. Just a plain old garter stitch. I did get an acquisition this week, or not this week, but it was earlier in the month, and it was when we went on one of our bus trips, and I got this is a size 13 needle. These are shorter needles. I would say they're about 10 inches, 9 inches. No. They're small. They're shorter than what you get nowadays. I got this, and I got a size 15, and those are the ones that I had purchased quite a few clothing items, because some of the items I got were 75% off at Community Aid. It's one of my favorite secondhand stores. If you don't have a community aid, it's fantastic. When you walk in the store, everything is color coordinated and categorized by infants to children, women's, then plus size women. Then you get over to the men's, you get separate area for coats. So everything is within a general area of color coding, and it's very nice. And of course, this store is in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. They took over the old Walmart store, so it's a good sized store, of which the Walmart store is now next door, where they built a new store which is bigger. So that was kind of interesting. I have gotten quite a bit done on my hedonist house coat. I did have to rip it completely back because it was too big. I'll move this out just a little bit. This is done as far as the main part of the body. This is in that deep violet that I chose. And I have to do the sleeves and then put on pockets, and I'm already started on the sleeves of that one. So I'm pretty thrilled with that. It's going along well. Of course, I've got the Scrap Buster blanket that I started on the other video. Got about this much of it done. Kind of put it away for a little bit. My February lady sweater, I've not done anything with it, probably about a month and a half. Once I get the hedonist house coat, then I'll pick that back up. That is knit, and I will work on getting that done. Let me see. Got another acquisition which fell down, but it's a book. It's a crochet book on linked stitches. I wanted to get it to see about using some link stitches. I have an idea for writing a pattern, and I think that I want to do that with link stitches. So crochet stitches. So I'm working through the book, doing some of the projects, and then kind of in my mind putting out my pattern idea. I did want to tell you, in the yarn haul giveaway, I made a mistake at the very end. I said it ended December the 9th. No, it runs from now until April the 9th, and then I will choose the winner April the 10th. So, a few mistakes. What can I say? Life happens. I found 2 new podcasts or video channels that are crochet related. One of those is Zach Stout, and he has the Stout Stitch. And this latest episode that he had, he talked about doing something for Lent that I admire, and at the same time I think, really? You're able to do that? Wow. Sorry, getting a tickle again. What he talked about was for Lent, he gave up buying yarn. Gave up buying yarn. I find that amazing. I could probably knit and crochet from my stash for a year or two. And I really should think about it, because in this same episode, he was also talking about how crochet helps relieve stress, which it does. But it got me to thinking, I have a lot of fabric, and I realize the amount of fabric I have. With that, creates a little bit of clutter, causes some stress, and it made me stop and think about the amount of yarn that I have. I find that I do have some stress with this amount of yarn because some of this yarn is packed away in totes and I haven't seen it. I don't know what it looks like. So there's a little bit of a stress factor there. So I really want to work from my stash for the next couple of months. And I'm going to try not to buy yarn. We know that won't work well with me, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to challenge myself to see how long I can go without buying yarn. Now, granted, if I have some projects that I'm working on already, I need to get some additional yarn to finish those out. I don't consider that a buying spree. I consider that being able to buy the yarn I need to finish it off. But the other thing is, before I do that, maybe I need to stop and think about, can I just add a different color ball of yarn to finish that project and change it up a little bit? So I'll be looking at some of that. Of course, you know, every time I go to Scraps and Skeins, I find yarn in that freebie. Does that count as yarn shopping? Maybe. Have to think about that. The other channel that I've been watching is Mr. Yarnypants. And Josh, he has some amazing ideas on working on blankets. He talks about not liking that he can read patterns. He doesn't really like working with patterns, so he kind of creates his own patterns. He's got a blanket he's working on right now that he's uploading progress on it daily. He's called it the Mercy Blanket. And I'm loving that idea that he's doing. He does have some really cute videos here and there. Yesterday was a real short one that was posted. I guess his wife got a new hair dryer and maybe some hair color, and she dyed his beard, or he was just drying his beard. But it's cute. It's only about a minute long, so it's kind of cute. So go check those two out. Those two have a cal that starts April the 1st, runs through, I believe, the end of May or maybe June. And it's called the Longest Cal or the Long Cal. I can't remember which one for sure. I'll look it up and put the link down below for you to go see that video. But their idea is to buy all the yarn for a project, choose someone that you've never met in person. So this most likely is someone in a Ravelry group, or maybe who watches podcasts, you notice their name, or someone who has put down in that video that Josh put out explaining the cal, that's put out their hand out for a person to join them. And what they want you to do is just reach out to someone you don't know, make a new friend in many ways. You work half the project and then you send them everything. They work half their project and they send you everything they've got so far. And then you finish each other's off. You either keep it or send it back to each other. It's a very interesting idea for a cal. Normally I would join in on it, but I've got so many things going on and so many irons in the fire, I just can't do it. I can't add another thing. So I'm not going to. But I will tell you, I like the idea of that. It's a very interesting idea. On my yarn giveaway, yarn haul and giveaway video, there are some specific rules you have to follow. And you will have to watch the video to be able to complete the task. So I hope that you'll join in and look at it and, sign up for it. I do have a couple of things I've got in mind to add into that. I just haven't gotten them all finalized. One of them is some additional items I want to add into that. Now I just have to go and look for them. The other thing is I need to get someone to make something for me to add to that. And I'm pretty sure she'll be able, her grandson will be able to do it in time. So it's a surprise. You have to see what it is, and on the day that I announce the winner of the giveaway, I will show you everything that I'm going to put into that giveaway. For now, all you get to see is the 2 balls of yarn that I'm adding in. So go look that video up, enjoy, join in if you want. That's it for now. I will try to update you in a few days, a couple of weeks again, instead of staying away for a month. Time just got away from me and I got lost. And with that, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Send that to people.
Just a quick walkthrough.
This is now I'm trying to see the next one.
I want the food, and I'm like, you can't have an entire turkey leg walking around there. Bouncing around, so yeah. I'm the same. I need, like, I have my socks, where I can.
Just started adding. Yeah, she's just done this. Which is working on your silk.
Portland's not too bad. You know, something. You can, I've had another spinning company. Resurrected that a couple of years ago. I heard that. Yes. But mine are old from that I got. Yeah, well, like a lot of people.